As the House of Representatives has directed the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, to mandate all relevant authorities to exempt members of the armed forces from tollgate fees and parking payments in airports nationwide. This followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by Abdusamad Dasuki at plenary on Tuesday. In presenting the motion, Dasuki argued that it was immoral for members of the armed forces to pay for access to airports where they were also expected to protect citizens and foreigners alike, whether or not they are on duty and even while they were passengers themselves. Our Rise News analyst, Dayo Sobowale, joins us now to discuss this step by the reps and why such a directive should be heeded, despite Tinubu's position that there should be no exemption in its implementation. Good afternoon, Mr. Sobowale. Welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. It's a pleasure being here as usual.
Right. Getting straight into it, yes. Our armed forces, how do you feel about this motion?
You see, it is an extraordinary thing, but it's like a waste of time, as far as I'm concerned, and I will tell you why. In the first instance, you see, Keyamo meant well. He wanted to raise revenue for the aviation industry, and he wanted to cut costs at the same time. But the way he went about it is not on, in my own view. In the first instance, he said he took it to the president, and the president added his own name to it, and he was happy. And that was the other time we discussed, it was given as an example of cutting cost, even though we know that there are larger issues involved. You see, there's an expression that one should not be chasing shadows. And Achife Olarotimi, one of our greatest playwrights, once wrote, Olarotimi once wrote, I've forgotten it now, but I'll come back to it later. But what I'm trying to say is that we should not be chasing, leave the shadow and be chasing substances. Olarotimi said, you say you want to carry our daughter, we want to give our daughter to a man with a strong back. A hunchback offers himself. Is that the sort of back? That is the sort of thing that is happening there. We are talking of cutting costs and security. And then the president himself said he too will pay toll gate. That is suicidal, and I will illustrate, because it is against security measures. Murtala Mohammed, our military head of state, was assassinated. And I think 75 or so, I was an assistant secretary in a defense building there. Then he was popular because he was anti-corruption. And he would give speeches and say this government will not tolerate indiscipline, this government will not condone abuse of office. You see, he was popular because they were retiring corrupt civil servants then. Although they later found out that destroyed the civil service. But you see, I saw Murtala in a private vehicle in the evening, driving himself. He was popular, but he forgot that he was a military ruler, not elected. He was gunned down in the morning on his way to work. Obasanjo, who succeeded him, when he was asked to come on board, said he doesn't want to be killed like fowl like Murtala. That was why presidents, both military and civilian, have been given strong security. I want us to sustain that. So the president's own too, if I am happy to mention this about the armed forces, it's very reasonable for security, because you cannot be asking for toll gates from people who are supposed to rush to protect you in the first instance. So I support that. And I think the president himself should be told that he is not the one to tell the security people how to protect him. Toll gate is minuscule, exemption is minuscule in the pursuit of cutting cost, you get me? And showing the public that if you ask them to be frugal and to make sacrifices, we who are given the orders, we are ready to make sacrifices. Let's leave it like that.
All right. Toll gate is still a form of taxation, whichever way you look at it. And shouldn't members of the armed forces be exempted in that direction? Which also ensures revenue for the government to fulfill its obligation in this regard. So it's a bit of a mixed grill here, Mr. Sobowale.
There is some confusion, and you see, you are looking at it from the point of taxation. You get me? I don't think military people pay tax because of the nature of their job, because they are so they don't even have contributory pension because of the nature of their job. But let me illustrate with the United Kingdom now. There's a saying in political science that with the king, not queen now, the king in Buckingham Palace, every Briton sleeps well in his bed. You get me? I would want us to say with the president in Aso Rock. You get me? Maybe at the end of this Tinubu presidency, she'll be able to say with Tinubu in Aso Rock, every Nigerian sleeps well in his bed. You see, but Britain is a monarchy and a representative democracy. See the way the Queen celebrated her birthday. See her funeral. See the coronation of King Charles. Everybody turned out. They know it is public money being spent, but on a spectacle that they all like and are interested in. That is how a government should want a people to regard it or look at it. And this presidency should borrow a leaf from that. You get me? If you rule people well, if you make their life comfortable, if your social welfare is inclusive, people will have respect for you. If you ask them to make sacrifices, they will be happy to make sacrifices. But what the Minister of Aviation has done, it's a step in the right direction, but it's pittance. It's a drop in the ocean. You can still do far more. Get me? Look at all the practices, the legislators are enjoying. They could trim them down. But when they send the budget there, they load the budget instead of cutting costs. That's a very bad example. Let's leave it at that for now.
Okay. I want to come back to the motion presented by Honorable Dasuki and, his argument that the armed forces need to be treated with more respect and more dignity and so forth. And let's just talk about how Nigerian armed forces are viewed. Do you feel that, what do you feel needs to be done to restore some of the glory, if I may say that, of being a uniformed man or woman in Nigeria? Is it by exempting them from toll gate, or are we scratching at the surface of a bigger issue?
I say it's pittance. That's what I just said. It is pittance. It does not address the problem. Again, it's mistaking the shadow for the substance. They are, you see the way they are fighting insecurity in this country. And see, they have families, and they lose, when they lose them, the families, although I know that their expression, the military looks after its own, but you see, it's as if the insecurity they are fighting is insurmountable. And we all know the reason, various cultural, religious reasons that make it impossible for them to have intelligence, to even hit targets that they should hit, because people are giving them wrong information. So on that score, we must always look after them. Although, I'm being sarcastic now, even though I'm going to say it, maybe our legislators looking at events happening in Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali, and they don't want that to happen in Nigeria, which is a realistic situation. But then, I don't think anybody in his right senses will ask security people to come and pay toll gate. I mean, we said it the other time, yeah. You see an armored tank, armored people talking, and you want to stop them, you want to commit suicide. So it is realistic even though, you know,
All right.
we need to focus on more serious things.
Okay, just briefly before we go, Mr. Sobowale, you know, you said this was a minuscule, you know, scenario. It shouldn't even have come up in the first place regarding that. But would you say, from a broader point of view, this is just another way of checkmating the executive when it comes to, you know, policies such as this one, or it's self-serving?
No, it's both.
Both.
Yeah, that's their duty. You get now. The executive is to, you know, make policies.
Yep.
They are to check the executive in terms of expenditure, make laws. The judiciary will interpret. It's both. They are checkmating the executive, like you said, or bringing it down to heart. That, you see, you put your own security in jeopardy if you say the president should do this, although they did not mention that of the president. But the fact that they remember the armed forces, although for the reason I said, you see, well, it's not self-preservation as such, but for the sanity of our political stability, sort of.
All right.
Okay. All right. Very
Yes.
well dissected. Thank you so much, Mr. Dayo.